Up your shaft. Aye, sir.
This is Alvashredd for Capital Chaos TV, and I'm here with Matt Harvey from Exhumed. How's it going today, Matt?
Good, man. How are you?
Pretty tired, very tired.
All right, well, we'll try to perk you up a little bit with some witticisms during the interview. I'll see what I can do.
Witticisms? What is the definition of witticism?
It's like a joke or a clever saying. Yeah, it's just something clever.
Yeah, I'm not too clever at all with any so-called witticisms. Well, I've heard that you guys have recently come off of a hiatus. Is that true?
Well, I mean, last year, we did a new record last year. It was our first new record since '03. So, I mean, we've been broken up for like a little over 5 years. And, yeah, officially we said it was a hiatus, but I was like, fuck this, I'm out. But then, I'm glad I said it was a hiatus because 5 years later I was ready to get back in the van and just bro out on the road for a while.
Very nice. And you've been doing Exhumed since you were 15, correct?
Yeah, since I was just a little kid. And that was back in 1991. Which is a little frightening. But yeah, since I was a kid.
How does it feel to have like this lifetime experience full of music and it's still going now?
It feels like I probably should have listened to my parents and just gone to college and gotten a real job, but I didn't. So, I mean, it feels good, I mean, it's rewarding, I guess, when you see like the kids every night and, people come up to you and talk about like when they were listening to your band like years ago and shit. Even on this tour, like one of the guitar players for Veil of Maya was like, dude, I used to be a huge Exhumed fan like back in like '01 and '02. And I was like, oh, that's kind of neat, and like Job for a Cowboy covered one of our songs, which was kind of neat. And it's like that kind of makes you feel like, oh, all right, it's slowly been accumulating to be something or whatever. I mean, most I just do it for my own enjoyment though, so I try not to think about it too much.
Yeah, I don't know, like me, I'm a musician as well. I just find it most rewarding when anybody compliments me about my music, especially if somebody is a true fan.
Yeah, I mean, that's nice. I mean, I think the danger with that is like, a lot of fans, they're really enthusiastic or whatever, especially when they meet you. And, I always try to be really critical of everything we do. And I end up like, people be like, oh, that show was awesome. I'm like, oh, no, that was terrible. We fucked up here. We did this fucking thing didn't work, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, I think the danger is, if you get, everyone likes compliments. I mean, they're very nice, but I think the real thing is like you just want to keep challenging yourself to get better and, live up to, your own standards should be higher than, the people in the audience or whatever. That's how you know that you'll be able to keep delivering something worth, people showing up for. Hopefully, Yeah.
How does it feel to be an influence among like a lot of people, kind of bringing them into death metal? Like I know me personally, like my brother listened to Exhumed a long time ago, kind of brought me into like the more thrashier, heavy stuff. But like it was like very influential music that brought us into bands today, like Job for a Cowboy. Right. We got Between the Buried and Me. Pretty sure it's like, how does it feel to like kind of be a part of the upbringing of death metal?
I mean, it feels good. I mean, it's a trip because. To me, it's still just like my goofy band from high school, you know what I mean? And I don't really like think about it in those terms too much. I mean, I guess it'd be pretty fucked up if we'd been going for like 20 years on and off and never influenced anybody. That'd probably be a sign we should have just stayed broken up. I mean, it's cool. We never really set out to like influence anybody or change anything. We just set out to just be ourselves and play music that we believed in and that we wanted to hear, and the fact that it resonates with people is awesome. I mean, it's it's very humbling. It's weird, and like I said, I mean, I really just try to, when we're writing songs and talking about what we're gonna do, we try not to really let that kind of stuff creep into the conversation. It's better just to focus on the creative part of it or whatever, instead of thinking like, oh, this dude thinks I'm cool, yeah, So, I mean, but it is really nice, and it boggles my mind continually, to be honest.
So tomorrow is the last day of Summer Slaughter. Have any crazy stories to share about this tour?
Well, it's a little bit different type of tour because, I mean, we're loading in at noon almost every day, and usually we're not even awake till or I'm not anyway, till like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. So the part of the hangover that I'm sleeping through usually, I've been awake through, and it's been pretty rough adjustment. Like just the last maybe week and a half, I finally like, okay, I party till 1, I fall asleep, I get up at 9, it's like, okay, now I'm on this tour schedule now that it's almost over. So, I mean, that said, it's led us into some mishaps. When we played in Vegas, our our bass player Rob got, I don't know what he was drinking, but I don't know what he wasn't drinking. But anyway, he ended up on the roof of the Mandalay Bay Casino where the House of Blues is there. And we couldn't find him anywhere. We're looking around and it was like, well, shit, everybody's left. And then like a few more hours passed. I started getting really pissed off. I called like the police. I was like, hey, have you arrested by anybody by this name? And they're like, nope, we don't know who that is. And then it was like, fuck, man, did somebody beat his ass? Did he like end up at some party? Like, because he was really wasted, so then we kind of started getting concerned. And then we're like, well, fuck, man, we're gonna have to cancel the show tomorrow if he doesn't show up by 8 a.m. So finally, at like 7:40 in the morning, he wanders down and he's like, yeah, just woke up on the roof, man. That was weird. And I was like, you dick. And then in Montreal, it was my turn to be an idiot. And I have like a no Jägermeister rule, just because my stomach, not because it tastes bad or anything. But yeah, anyway, and I broke that rule. And the next morning, I found out exactly why, because I was just puking up green stuff, yellow stuff, whatever was in there. And we were playing this big festival in Toronto with like System of a Down and Slipknot or whatever. And where we parked our van was luckily right next to the EMT vehicle. And so our drummer, Mike, very, forward-thinking guy, goes over and he says, hey, man, our guitar player's really fucking hungover. Can you help him out? And so I came over and took my blood pressure. I'm like, oh, you're basically fine, but come on. And so they took me in the ambulance and gave me an IV of saline, and that saved my ass. I mean, that was like, brought me back to life, and I was still getting pumped. They're like loading everything on stage. I was like, I'll be right there, dude. Hold on. Fucking ran up on stage, and it was like the difference between, probably barely getting through the set and being pretty much okay. So, yeah, it's interesting when you're not playing at nighttime, the kind of trouble you can get into leading the incredibly ill-advised lifestyle that we do. So,
sounds like a great lifestyle to me.
Your liver might not agree.
Yeah. Well, I believe everything has its ups and downs.
Right.
So.
Right. Sometimes, you're fucking partying and raising hell and having a great time. Sometimes you're waking up in Fort Lauderdale in your underwear, throwing up against a stop sign in full public view of like people going to work. So, hey, it's a mixed bag. What can I say?
This sounds fucking amazing to me. Any plans for any new releases anytime soon? I know you guys released an album about a year or two ago.
Right, last year. So, All Got Some Glory came out last year. We're going in the studio the beginning of October to do a new one. Should be out May is what we're shooting for. And after that, we're going to Japan for 3 days with Cannibal Corpse, and then we have a November tour with Napalm Death and Municipal Waste. So I think after that, we'll probably just lay low until the new record comes out. But that's what I said we were going to do after this tour, so who knows,
Yeah, some shit happens.
Exactly. This shit often does happen.
All right, any last words to say for the bands?
I would just say thanks for
Bands.
for the peeps. I would just say, we broke up for 5 years and really didn't ever think about doing this again, and for quite a while. And the fact that we've been able to come back, and this is like our 5th North American tour, we already have a 6th one in the works, has been really amazing. And just the fact that people, want to take us out on tour and want to come show up when we play is pretty awesome. We're very thankful, and we'll see you out there.
Awesome. This is Alvashredd from Capital Chaos here with Matt Harvey from Exhumed.
Hello, human scum! This is Odorous Shurungus commanding you to continue watching Capital Chaos. They support Guar and anal rape and all kinds of wonderful things.